Hi, everybody. We're going to talk today to try to answer the question, is it a system? I'm going to show you some different things, and we're going to think about that definition of a system, that it's many different parts all working together to do a job. And you're going to think, and then we'll talk about whether it was a system or not and what its parts might be. So let's talk about our first example, the bicycle. Is it a system? Let's take a look at this bicycle and see if we can notice any parts. All right, here on the bicycle, we have the handlebars, the seat, the wheels, the frame, the pedals. We even have a basket up front. So there's lots of different parts here. I can see them and notice them, and I could tell about them if I needed to. So all these different parts. Now I have to ask the question, do they work together to do a job? Well, let's see. What do we do with a bicycle? Think about it. If you said that we ride around on a bicycle and it helps us get from place to place, then you're right. That's the job that a bicycle does. It helps a person get from one place to another a little faster than walking. So this bicycle has parts, and the parts work together to do a job. Is it a system? Ding, 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 ding. Yes, a bicycle is a system. Let's take a look at some other things that might be systems. Let's take a look at. Let's take a look at this apple. Does this apple have parts? Well, let's see. I see a stem here, and I see a blossom end, and I know there's the skin on the outside, and then inside there's some juicy fruit part, and there's a core with some seeds. So I know this has parts. Do these parts work together to do a job? Well, I know what I want to do with this apple. I want to eat it. For me, it would help me survive because it's a source of food. It's not really the job of the apple, though, is it? Does the apple have a job? Well, you could say that the apple's job is to fall to the ground, decompose in the soil, and grow into a new apple tree. That's a little bit of a different job. This is not something that has been engineered. This is not a human-made creation. This is something that came from nature. And nature does have a lot of systems in it, like the systems that run through an apple tree and make this apple grow. But they're not a human-created system. So while there are natural systems that kind of work the same way some human systems work, this would not be an engineered system. This is not the sort of system we're talking about. All right, I've got something else here. I have got a ukulele. Is a ukulele a system? What do you think? Think about it for a second. What does a system need to have? If you said parts, you would be correct. A system needs to have parts. Does this ukulele have parts? I bet you can see them. I bet you can name them. Some of the parts are the strings, these little knobs here to turn and tune the strings, the shape of the body, this long part with these little metal strips on it, these plastic parts down here where the strings are attached. Even that hole is part of this ukulele. All right, so we figured out that it does have some parts. Do these parts work together to do a job? I would say that they do. The job of a ukulele is to make music. And this is something that was made by humans. It did not grow on a tree. There is no ukulele tree where you can go and pick a ukulele, though that would be cool if there was. These ukuleles were made by someone. They were made out of resources. A resource is something in nature that we use to invent something or build something or do some kind of human creative activity. So someone needed to get wood from a tree, they needed to get plastic from oil, they needed to get metal from the earth, and they had to put all of those things together using a system to make a ukulele. They probably had a pattern to follow, and they put all those parts together to make something that could do a job. The job of making music. All right, so is a ukulele a system? Ding, 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 ding. Yes, a ukulele is a system. What do I have here? Do you know what these are? These are Lego building blocks. Are Lego building blocks a system? Hmm. Are there parts? Well, when I look in here, I can see that they're all different kinds of blocks, and the parts all have these little buttons that can fit together, snap together. And in this book, I'm noticing that you could put these parts together to build something really cool. All right. So it does have parts. Do the parts work together to do a job? Well, when I look inside this bucket and the parts are all broken apart and jumbled together, they're not doing any job. Now, if I took all of those parts and I built, say, a tall tower, and on that tall tower I maybe attached a pulley so that it could move things up and down, and I put a little string on it, and now I could lift the Lego block off the ground and move it, then the parts would be working together to do a job. So these Legos, is it a system? Not yet, but it could become one. These are the resources that we would use to build something with Legos that could do a job. So it's not a system yet, but it could become one. Let's see. I have a telescope. Nothing on the horizon. Is it a system? Does it have parts? Think carefully. You can see that the outside kind of just looks like one piece of plastic, but there's something on the inside of a telescope, a piece of glass here, or a piece of plastic, and a piece of glass here, or a piece of plastic. There are two lenses inside a telescope, and that's what lets us see things from far away. Is it a system? Do the parts work together to do a job? Think about it. If you said that the parts of a telescope work together to do the job of seeing things that are far away, then you're correct. Ding, 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 ding. A telescope is a kind of system. It's an invention, too, a human invention. And this was something that allowed people to do things like study the stars or navigate around the oceans. So here's a great example of human engineering, the telescope, a system that lets you see what's far away. All right, this one's a little tricky. I tried to take something really simple that you wouldn't think would be a system. Let's see if we can apply our questions and decide, is this object a system or not? So first I have to ask, does it have parts? Well, it seems like one piece of plastic, but it actually comes apart into two parts. Now, it has two parts, two very simple parts made out of the resource called plastic. But do those parts work together to do a job? Think about it for a second. What would be the job of an object shaped like this? Do those parts work together to do a job? If you said that you could hide a prize or a toy or some candy inside this egg, then you're right. This is a very simple system. It's basically just a cup that you could put something inside and a lid that could go on top. This is a very simple system. All right, this is going to be my last thing. I have a piece of cardboard. Is it a system? Let's see, does it have parts? Well, I guess it does have some parts that stick out or flap around. So I guess you could say, oh, and it has a side that has some colorful printing on it and a side that is brown like cardboard. So I guess it has some parts in that way. Do these parts work together to do a job? Not anymore. Not since the box was opened and couldn't hold cans anymore. Now, this has turned into something else. This isn't a system. It's not parts working together to do a job, but it is a resource. This is some cardboard that you could use to make a system or to make an invention or to make something else. This is a resource. It is not a system. All right, so this has been our game of Is It a System? Thanks for playing with me today, and see if you can find some systems around your house or around your neighborhood. Bye bye.